Hello everybody, welcome to H&H Express Model and Scale Trains on the Monday, not the Thursday. I indeed forgot to change the name on the live stream announcement. So I hope the sound is a little bit good. I hope that there is not a lot of noise from the air conditioning, otherwise I'm gonna switch it off because it's around 80 degrees Fahrenheit over here, or 28, 29 degrees Celsius. So it's pretty warm here in this attic, or loft, as anybody names it. So let's see who is all in the chat. I did see Dean from Model Railway Shed. Welcome, Dean. How are you doing? I see Ivo van Zon, who came in. Tom Houston, who made happy Thursday, doesn't the time fly? So let me, where was it? Let me see. Oh yeah, first he said, interesting title, and happy Thursday, doesn't time fly? So welcome Tom to the stream. I see Andy from Hot Dog Pilot. Welcome Andy. How are you doing? And I think that's it. So we have a very small crowd today, but doesn't matter. Hope you had a good day. I hope you had a good Father's Day, at least for the fathers among us. And I hope that your fathers themselves also had a good Father's Day too. I know in Belgium it was last week, and in other countries it is done in, I believe, in March. So everybody celebrates their Father's Day on a different time. But yeah, most of them are. Can't hear the echo. Okay. Yeah, I need to shout a little bit above it because it's a lot of noise. It's standing over here, and it's blowing. Hopefully, yeah, it blows cold air, so that's good. So yeah, okay, all good. And I see that Andy already reported a sound vision. Okay, yeah, I did the camera over here. I put it a little bit brighter because it has an auto regulation in regards to the lights. So hopefully it stays a little bit lighter now. So yeah, welcome to the stream. And as you may have seen in the title, what was the title? Oh. So that was the title. What do you do when something has failed? I didn't work that much since the last live streams over here, because the last live stream I did was in regards to the Watloper. And I made a video after that, actually a shorts video, in regards to a locomotive, this locomotive, which is from British Railway, and I made a shorts about that. That was running fine. I only had a problem with one other locomotive, and I think I mentioned that in one of my, in the last live stream that I was testing. I was testing the Watloper, which ran fine, and so I put this one on it. This is only the shelf, so the rest is in here. So this belongs to each other. This was a locomotive which I bought secondhand in March. I brought it back to the store where I bought it just to have it checked over. And yeah, well, that's bad. I have another motor. Let me grab it. So another motor failed. So that's the second locomotive which has a motor failure. And it's not the, how do you call it? The brushes. So because this is a motor with brushes, the same with, where do I have it? I thought I had it here. Here. The same as this motor. This is the motor from the Watloper. That one has brushes too, you can see that. And well, let me see if somebody else joined in. Yeah, a magic smoke release event. Yeah. What was it? Surprises that they didn't split it in Flemish and Wallonian region. Oh, okay, yeah. In regards to Father's Day in Belgium. So, well, this motor, as you can see here, has a loose bearing, and that caused that the motor was moving too much, so that the brushes killed the motor, so it made a short over here. This one, I can hardly turn it. It's I don't know what happened, if something came in between, but unfortunately the store couldn't repair it, so I was able to buy another locomotive for the same money which I bought that one. But since this wasn't repairable, I asked him, can I, for a symbolic value, can I buy it? Because then I'm gonna order a new motor and I'm gonna repair it myself. And that was nicely done from them. So let me see if you can see it. So I have several trains here on the shadow station. The Watloper is not on the rails, it's just standing next to it. And I got this locomotive over here. So let me move it a little bit with my hands. And this is a German locomotive from the Deutsche Bahn. And this is from the Rheingold series. And probably if Anthony was here, he knows about that one as well. So the Rheingold series is a special series which has the wagons in the same coloring. So this is a, what is it, a restaurant, and this is just a, yeah, you can't hardly see it. Let me move it a little bit. So this is just a passenger wagon. So they have a special series about that, and you can find them in two different colors. Let me put it back on the rails. And so I was able to, at least only the locomotive, the wagons it is an E03, let me put it in here. So Ivo says it's an E03103 TEE with Schurzen. So I bought that one, put a little bit extra money on that one, and I got this. Let me switch back. I got this one for a symbolic value, so that I can repair it myself. Because for them, it's either for them to put it as a defect wagon in their um, um, display, or they need to put it in the collector's bag, where I also found this one. So this British railway locomotive, and then just sell it. So I said, well, is there a chance that I could buy it for symbolic value? And they said, well, that's no problem. So okay, and I will keep them updated in regards to the motor, because I ordered a new motor. So Tom, you say, did both motors fail in that loco? No. This is the motor which has two warm wheels, which is for this locomotive. So there's also a Deutsche Bahn. It's a diesel locomotive, and the other motor, this one, failed in this locomotive, and this is called the Watloper, and it's been replaced by Sprinters and by other cars. Let me see. But Tom Ivo wrote, it's not Kleinbahn, so just one motor. Yeah. Yeah, so this one had this motor inside, and this without the shelf had a middle motor in it, which has two warm wheels. So no, yeah, it's not a bad gear train, because the gears they ran fine. It's just indeed the motor itself. What happened with this motor, because I can barely turn it. I can turn it, but I need to put a lot of force in it. So that means that the rotor hits the anchors, so the magnets, and that's not good. And with the other one, with this one, I hope you can see it up close. Okay. There is a bearing between this flywheel. There is a bearing, and the bearing is loose, so it moves up and down like this, and that caused a short here, so it blew out the motor as well. Okay, Ivo wrote the following: the Watloper was replaced by the Arriva GTW. NS doesn't operate the non-electrified lines in Groningen and Friesland anymore. Well, they don't operate it in Gelderland either, because from Arnhem to Winterswijk, that's also a line which is done by Arriva, and there is another, what is it, Sintes, which runs from Venlo to Roermond, so in the lower part of the Netherlands. We have a phrase for that, which I will refrain from sharing. Well, you can still share it. So, but yeah, what happens if something fails? Well, you need to troubleshoot. Well, I have another problem here, and that is my track. I can run a train until a certain section, and then it stops. So that's a real problem. So I can't run a train in a full loop at this moment, which means we have to troubleshoot. And one thing which I forgot to do in my program, which runs the power section, is to add a troubleshooting section in it. And so what I thought I did, well, you know what? I'm gonna put power on all the outside lines, because if, for those who are in the stream at the moment, you know that my system is built out of power sections. So we have every section has its own name. So we have a power section main track 01 up to main track 12. We have we have a shadow station, which is power section ST1 up to ST6. The top table I'm not going to mention, because that one has also power sections, but they are not controlled yet with my power section. And I also have a power section for my staging yard, which are another 4 power sections. And, well, don't get dizzy. Come on. Oh, it's a little bit slow. So I hope you see all the lights. Let me check behind me if, yeah, the picture is there. So all the lights on my power sections are lit. So looking from the left, from the right to the left. So on the right it begins with power section 1, then we have 2, then we have 3A, 3B, then we have 4, etc., 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 and then going up to the shadow station. So all these lights, they lit. So you think, well, that's all good, because the controllers, they lit, and also the current sensors, which are the top LEDs, they lit. So everything is fine. So reset it. Well, when I started to run, the one above the ladder display is not lit on one side. That's what Evo says. Let me go back to that one. The one above the ladder display. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. I think that is a cable hanging in front of it. Yes, it is. So that will be, hopefully it's visible now. Almost, no? But it's definitely lit. Yeah, now you can see it. So that one is definitely lit. And the one on the right hand side, that is just a single entry. Then you have a double one next to each other. So, but yeah. So all these LEDs and all these settings, they are connected. And if you follow my channel along, let me go to the face cam, because I ordered a new package. So let me open it. So it's well packed. So you may have seen in other videos, let me grab my scissors, that I use motor drivers like these for my layout. So you have here at the bottom power in. These are your control pins. This is a power out one side, and that is the power out on the other side. And so I have a lot of these, which you can see. Hello, Sprue and Glue. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. So I hope you can see it. Let me try to put more light on it. Is that better? Almost. You see that they are all in there, and they all have a LED and lit. And let me turn it this way. So from the output of this controller here goes to a current sensor, and then the current sensor and the other output here, that is going to each track. So when I try to run the Rheingold, which I just showed, so that would be on this camera. Oh no, sorry. Where is it? Up on this camera. So this train, I noticed something weird. The train ran or started on the outer track, on the shadow station track number 2, and then it moves over to shadow station track number 6, because that is where the turnouts are. And from there it moves up to, let me show you that. And then it moves up to main track power section 2. And that is, I hope I can show you that. Let me try to move it. I see that my computer has, yeah, it is warm here as well. Well, you can't see it, but it's just behind the screen. There is a turnout. So it has one side is a section which is shadow station number 6, and then it goes over to power section number 2, and the turnout gets power from power section number 2, and the train stopped. Oh, that's strange, because the week before that I ran this train without any problems. So I thought, well, I think I have an issue there. So, and when I laid my track, let me flip back to the screen. When I laid my track, I built a small test piece, which is just a wooden block with the rails underneath, and you put it on the rails. You make sure that it makes contact, and the arrow points in the direction of the movement of the train, and if it moves that direction, the green LED goes on. If it moves the other direction, the red LED goes on. So let me show you that in, I hope it works, in the, oh, sorry, in this area. So I need to remove this locomotive. I'm going to remove these wagons as well. And so I changed my power section program so that I can put power on all of the outer track, and actually also all on the inner track. So let me start my connection to the power section. Need to put power on the track. Yeah, I see that the DCC controller has power. So, and then I'm gonna select the generic train, because I created the generic profile. Then if I'm now going to put power on the track, let me see if it works. So you see that the red LED is lit, and that means it goes backward. So if I actually, the train should travel forward, but I put it backward, so it's actually this direction. So now if I'm going to put it on there, you see that the green LED is lit. So I tested everything with this block to check where I had a problem. And I discovered that there are, let me change camera again. Where are you? That there are two sections which have a problem. And those two sections are, and you can see that everywhere, almost everywhere is now power. At least the sensors think that there is power. That is something which I overruled. Power section 2 did not have any power, and power section number 4 did not have any power. And that is to the incline. So power section 3B had power, and power section 4 did not have power. So I had two power section failure. And the problem with that is, let me switch over. As I mentioned, each motor driver has two outputs, one over here and one over there. If I'm looking at the layout of my power section, then one of the motor drivers is 1 and 2. Then I have one motor driver which is 3A and 3B, and then I have another motor driver which is 4 and 5. Hello, Mr. Dodge. Welcome to the stream. How is your holiday going? Hope you had a good Father's Day as well. So the problem, what I mentioned, I have two failed motor drivers and not one. So to temporarily correct it, because I didn't have any motor drivers left, I bought 10 now. So I have plenty of them now. We are doing well, melting in Vienna right now. What's the temperature over there? 28 degrees centigrade? So, but that means that I need to replace two of these. And if I'm going to show you the power section again, well, you see it's a bunch of cables. And I need to replace the most 33 degrees centigrade. Oh, wow. So that's, what is it, 85? Let me think, 85, 80, 86, I think, 86 Fahrenheit. So I need to replace the most right one, and then the third from the right, 86, yeah, okay. So it's a terrible job to do, to replace that. Just let me see if I can get some more light or change the angle. Let me see, don't get dizzy, don't get dizzy. Oh. So that would mean that I need to replace this one over here. Let me see if you can see it. Yeah, so the most right one, and then this one. So yeah, that was too bad. And I did not have the chance because I did not have any motor drivers anymore. So I'm not gonna do it in the live stream, because if you're looking up closer, here are the control pins, and I need to connect all 6 control pins. I need to connect all these power inputs, so the power input for the regulation of the auto, for the voltage regulation. I need to put the 5 volt in there for the circuit itself. So this would be 6 plus 3 is 9, plus 2 here and 2 there. So 13 wires. I need to remove 3 jumpers. Well, I think, Anthony, is it from the faulty modules or are they overloaded? I think what happened is that I had a bad locomotive. This one, the motor died. That motor, so this motor, you weren't there when I showed it, this motor created a short, a bit like the motors who come to independent drive. Well, yeah, but the strange thing is, track number 2 and track number 4. And for this locomotive to go from track number 2 to track number 4, it needs to go either via track number 3A or 3B. Well, so there is a track in between which can be powered off and powered on. So, well, too bad. So I have a broken motor and 2 broken motor drivers. So I did the test and I used a simple test gear here, which I built. So if the arrow is the direction of where I want to have it, then it's green. If it's the opposite direction, then it's red. So, and I can show you it again because there is still no, sorry. Oh, let me go to the shadow station. So this is the tester. I'm gonna put it here on the rails. And let me see if I can make some contact. Come on. You see that the green LED is lit. That means the train will travel that direction. If I'm gonna place it the other side, it's red. That means it should actually drive that way, but then it would be green. But now it's red, that means it travels that direction. So that was a tester. So that brought me up to another issue. Since I can't see if, I can only see if a track is powered on if the train is running. So I came to another problem. How can I, and yeah, I know it's a spaghetti and all LEDs there. How can I check which LED is what? Well, all the LEDs here are just indicating that the module received their 5 volt to operate, but it's not telling me that the output is there. So I need to build a control board. So what I did, I printed out, oh, that's in mirror, but you see it. I printed out the scale of my layout, and I'm gonna build a control board which shows me, and also with some push buttons, for controlling the turnouts, which shows me that there is real power on the board. Oh, Anthony says, okay, so sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's indeed. And the broken heart, well, maybe an empty wallet. So maybe we can do a, yes, to mimic a panel. And then when you put power on the track, you see, hey, on that section there is power and the train is not moving. So that must be a bad contact in the locomotive. So maybe the wheels are dirty. But if the train is not moving and there is no power on the track, you can immediately see that because the light, the LED does not lit. And I have plenty of LEDs because, yeah, I'm an electronic guy, so I have a lot of LEDs over here. And the ones which I used here on the tester, these are 5mm, but I have a lot of 3mm LEDs or 2.5mm LEDs, so I can easily make a control board which I can use as a display or control the train itself. Because if you're looking at the layout, this one, come on, so this one, you see that the turnouts, I can manage the turnouts from the screen, but it would also be ideal if I could manage the turnouts on that control board. So I know it's gonna be a little bit more wiring than needed, but hey, better safe than sorry. And as you can see now, the whole main track, the outside of the main track is all red, which means all sections are occupied, which is not true because there is absolutely no train running here. So, and yeah, Tom wrote, fault finding and repair is half the fun of model railroading. So I'm told, yeah. Well, you hope, of course, that nothing happens, but it can happen in DCC or in the analog world as well. Well, this is half DCC and half analog, but yeah, it's troubleshooting each time, but not only troubleshooting on this section, um, also troubleshooting and fault finding in your program, because as I mentioned before, I did not have a section in my program in which I could put power on all the power sections at the same time, or exclude, because I excluded the three ones for, let me switch back. So I excluded the shadow station track number 3, 4, and 5 because they have locomotives on there, and I don't want to have them skate away when I put power on it. Because, yeah, if you're gonna put power on it and your slider slides up too fast, then, well, you can blow out the engine, because my power supply, which is controlling all the motor drivers, is 3 amps. No, yeah, the power supply itself is 5 amps max and 20 volts output. So I have spikes of 20 volts output on it, but I can regulate it down. But I discovered that with the sections what I built, to get a better traction of the train and to not have to put the slider too far up, 20 volts is good. And there is also resistors in between, just to make the load possible, because that is actually what you see here, that all the outside tracks, they have resistors to mimic a load, which means that the sensor towards towards JMRI says, okay, my track is occupied. I didn't do that on the shadow station yet, and on the inside track yet. But yeah, those things, they are that's something for the future to build. So Well, yeah, that is fault finding. You need to do fault finding. Another way to do it is using a multimeter. Let me see. Do I have one? Yeah, I have multiple multimeters. Let me see. Where did I put it? Eh. Oh, where is my multimeter? Who grabbed it? Somebody from you? Ah, here it is. So you can just use your multimeter. So you can use your multimeter. The only problem with this one is you need to set the range correctly. So if you set the range to 20, if I need to set it to 20 volts, I can set it to 200 volts if I want, but you can also measure the resistance. So it's always handy to have this. But this tool functions fine because it is just two LEDs with a blocking resistor and then a piece of track underneath. You put it on the track and just check it. I use that to I actually demonstrated that in the video which I created for Kevin's yard, so the upper deck, when I built it. Okay, so Andy, you had the meter out today, went through the wiring of a loco to find. I hadn't cleaned the wheels. Yep, that can happen too. So, but for Anthony, Anthony, I mentioned that I had another locomotive failure. I went to the shop where I bought it. I bought it secondhand there, but they couldn't repair it because the motor was broken. But I had some warranty on it still, and I bought this one for it. Maybe you know which one it is. Cool, a 103. Yeah, this is from the Rheingold series. Yeah, a TEE from the Rheingold series. So I put a little extra money on top of it because this locomotive was a little bit more expensive than this one. But since they couldn't repair this one, I bought this one back for a symbolic number. And I ordered a new motor already, so a replacement one, which is a brushless motor. That's actually the same type of brushless motor which I put in the Wattloper. So I'm gonna create another video of it, how to replace this motor in this shelf with the new motor, because it, again, you need to do some drilling, you need to do some cutting away, and then you need to use some Loctite. There are some bearings with it, so you need to remove these worm wheels. The worm wheels, you need to add the copper bearings on top of it, and then glue it with Loctite. And then you need to make sure that the same dimensions from one side to the other side is there, and they give you some paper to do it. So yeah, and since I was there in the store, I did not only buy this, but I also bought these two, which is from the Rheingold series. So so now I have another German train on my track. I have a lot of Dutch trains, and you may have seen the shorts of this train, of this locomotive. This is a British railway locomotive, and actually maybe Andy can help me with it. Which um, No, I did not buy that one. I didn't. The one I saw in the store, it wasn't that nicely detailed. Yes, Andy, this is a class 86, but what I'm looking for is some either cargo or passenger wagons for to match with it. So maybe if you can look around. So, but so yeah, everybody, I hope you had a good Father's Day. I got a small present. I posted a picture on Facebook, and let me show you what I got for my Father's Day. So I'm gonna use the cell phone, the same cell phone for the in which you saw the my motor driver board. So this is what I got for my Father's Day, and I always say I don't have to have big things, just small things will do. So I hope it focuses it a little bit. So this is um, a wagon which belongs to the Rheingold series as well. The only thing is it's purple, and it's a baggage wagon. And I got figures for at the station. I hope you can see it. Oh, it's a little bit out of focus. Let me see out of focus. Come on. Maybe it's the light is. So these are passenger figures which can be put on a railway station. And I got some a cement truck and another truck and some small cars. So I thought that was very nice. Ivo van Zon said this is the 1928 Rheingold colors, same as Anthony has in HO. Okay. So the purple wagon, you mean? So let me see what Anthony says. Tom Houston, I think one is enough, but I got to swim in the Chiemsee Father's Day, which was cool. I did buy a whole bunch of ÖBB passenger coaches today. Okay. Okay, that was a purple and a cream one. Okay, a dark blue one. Yeah. And a cream blue one. Okay, good to know, Ivo. Good to know. And Anthony, I know what you look for, how much you're willing to spend. We can take put that topic off the live stream. So I just want to know, usually it's around the 10, 15 euros for a passenger wagon. And they don't have to be big. So let me. So I have this one from the Netherlands, but actually this passenger wagon is a little bit too big for the curves. And so that's why, because for the Rheingold series, they also have this size, but I went for the smaller size. You see? So in the smaller size is easier to handle the curves. you'll get some MK1s. Yeah. And yeah, Anthony, you will need an extra suitcase to bring your home everything. I thought actually, is it correct, Andy, that you're gonna post it to your home address? That you pack everything up and then post it out? Ah, okay, yeah. So that would be nice because yeah, the curves, especially the inner curve over. Let me. So that curve over there is actually too sharp because it's a curve going inside. It also has a little bit of an angle, and then it needs to flip to the other side. So it does this, and then it flips over to the other side. So it's a little bit a sharp curve there. That's why I use smaller ones. Okay. Joyce is going to pick up a carry-on bag and store every train in it. Well, I hope you don't exceed the maximum allowance. By the way, let me grab something to drink because it's still warm here. I hope everybody else takes a something to drink too. So cheerio. So yeah, so I can't run any trains today except, well, what I did is to test. I moved the power section from power section 1 to power section 2 just to test. But that would only give me a maximum of 1/4 of the total length of the outside. So I'm not gonna run any trains to it. But yeah, so it brought me to the idea of building that control panel. So I will redo this, and then put it on a panel, put all the lights in, make a bundle of wires, and then bring it over to my power section so I can easily see it, and it will be probably mounted either, let me go back here. So it will be either probably mounted over here or over here, so as a panel. Because yeah, this one still needs to be lift out so that I can reach the rest of the track. So yeah, it will be. So the Mark 1 is about 7 meters shorter compared to the. Okay, yeah. Okay, so the Mark 1 is about 7 meters shorter compared to the ICM, which is the one which I have, I think, or the UIC-X vehicles. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that makes it easier because yeah, the ones which I have, if I put two behind a locomotive, it will run. If I put three, then I can have, due to the pulling force of the wagons, I get a derailment from the middle wagon, so the middle passenger wagon, which is not good. So, but I could use it on the second layout. So I hope that you saw the video which I created for building your own backdrop. If you didn't see it, just check my list, and I will be posting a link up here as well for those who want to see it. Because yeah, it's a nice thing if you have a small section in which you don't want to spend too much money, and you have a inkjet printer, and you can create your own backdrops easily with doing the steps which I show in that video. So the next video will come out on Thursday, and then all depending on the weather. Hopefully it's not too warm for next week. Then hope my system recovers a little bit, and I hope that I can fix my power sections. I now have enough motor drivers because I bought 10 of these, so I can expand as well, because my Kevin's yard will come online Thursday and say Monday in the description. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna fix that. That it will be on a Monday. But yeah, so I need to do some checking how we can easily remove that because of the wires which are in front of it, and then immediately have the extra wires come from the current sensors to the control panel, so that I can redirect them immediately. So yeah, it will be a lot of cabling. So I need to check if I have a ribbon cable with that much or multiple ribbon cables which go to that side, because, and it needs to be, what is it, at least 3 meters long to get to that control panel. So yeah, that is it, what I wanted to discuss today with everybody. So a little bit of troubleshooting, how I discovered it. So I discovered it that my train was stopping, so I did some testing. I made sure that I rewrote the program to control the power section, so that I could put power on all the outputs at the same time and then exclude a certain piece, which helped me with the troubleshooting. Creating your own tools, make sure that you have the right direction, and so that helped me in discovering. So yeah, and where the short came from in the power section number 4, I actually don't know what happened there. I know what happened here at this area, that it must have been the motor which shorted, created a short. But on that area, no train had been running except for the British Railway. So maybe these are messing with me. So I'm not sure of protection on those modules. Is it worth adding a resettable fuse into the wiring? Yeah, that could also be done. But then I need to add it between the current sensor and the motor driver. So I will need to look into that as well. That's a good tip, Tom. That's a good tip. And Dean, indeed, yeah, smash that like button. It's good for the analytics. It helps as well to bring this video and bring the channel a little bit more up. And see how far we can go with that. So with that said, I would like to thank everybody for joining in here at H&H Express Model N-Scale Trains. I hope you got something out of this today, and then next week I hope that I can let some trains run on the track again, outside, inside loop, and maybe we do a repair on a train again, on a locomotive. Who knows? So with that, thank you for joining in, and I would say have a good night, and till the next one. Bye all.